Just joining us, this is Daybreak on Trust Television. Now let's take a look at a whole new dimension on the show this morning. The politics of zoning is likely to make or mar the 2023 presidential election, with implications for the stability of the country. It is one of the most contentious issues in Nigeria at the moment, particularly in the two major political parties, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the All Progressive Congress, the APC, which both represent most of the contending stakeholders in Nigeria. Now, it is often argued that zoning is not expressly stated in either the 1999 Constitution or the Electoral Act, but it was a convenient measure adopted by the People's Democratic Party in 1999 with the return to sovereign rule in order to ensure political representation, equity, justice, and a sense of ownership in political representation. Now, to give us perspectives to this, we have a lawyer and political analyst, Pius Damba, here to talk to us more about this. I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
Yes, you did, actually.
Thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Let's have your thoughts around this whole argument. What's the moral, what's the basis for even having this conversation in the first place?
Well, the issue of zoning, it's something that should be of concern to us all, because when you want to recruit the leadership that should lead this country, it's important to actually factor the diverse nature of Nigeria so that you don't leave some people out of the equation. Now, it may not have been actually entrenched in the Constitution specifically to say that leadership succession should be based on zoning by way of rotating among the zones. However, the principles in the Constitution support the fact that we should look at how diverse Nigeria is in terms of forming the government. And so it's only based on fairness, equity, and equity to consider the different categories of people that actually make up the country. And of course, even when you are looking at the competence of various persons that should lead us, of course, you cannot say that competence is exclusively reserved to any particular region or any particular tribe or community. You can find competent people all over the place, and so there is need to actually recognize the different groups or ethnic groups that we have in Nigeria and give them a voice and give them a sense of belonging in the administration or in featuring the leaders that we have in the country. So I think that it is important that that conversation should be on board so that you know, we don't neglect some parts of the country that ordinarily should be carried on in terms of administration. And of course, the rules of fairness and equity can be, it's more or less like a universal law that transcends virtually every society all across the world. And what is fair and equitable and just in Nigeria is the same in the US, is the same in England, it's the same everywhere. And so it's only on that principle of fairness, equity, and justice that zoning can thrive, you know, and it's part of the principle that is entrenched in the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria. So it's not something that contravenes or it's against the principle or the spirit of the Constitution.
Okay. Now, we're already seeing, you know, for instance, in the Southeast, some of them are already feeling sidelined, and some of them have expressed dismay, you know, over the whole issue of the zoning arrangement. In your assessment, what implication, you know, will this have, you know, on the 2023 general elections?
Well, you see, in as much as there is need for all regions of the country to be, you know, incorporated or carried along in the governance in the country. We must also do it in a civil way and in a manner approved by law. So the agitations from the Southeast is quite noble agitation of wanting to actually have more participation in the government, but that should be done, through lawful means, because we are a country that is being regulated by a constitution. The mode of participating in politics is defined, and you cannot, for instance, stay outside party politics and expect that power will be given to you.
Right.
And so the agitation should be done in line with law, such that the aspirations of the people of the Southeast should be achieved via the ballot. You can talk to us, you can talk to Nigerians, you can engage in the political parties, you can engage the political parties and make your case. It's also beautiful that most of the parties have actually recognized the idea of zoning in their constitution. And the constitutions of political parties are met pursuant to the provisions of the 1999 constitution itself. So that means that it has a backing of law. And so when you engage your political party, and you have them convinced of the need, for you to take your turn in terms of featuring the next leader of the country, then of course I believe that your political party should be able to reason with you, and in the principle of fairness and justice, and accord with you. And the space, the political space in Nigeria is open in such a way that if you are not comfortable with a particular platform or political party, if you feel that, for instance, the two main political parties are not treating you fairly, you have the option of, floating an entirely new political party, or even going to another platform. We have 18 registered political parties at the moment. So realizing your ambition must not be tied to one political party. If the space does not accommodate your principle, then of course you have the right to move. So I see the Nigerian political space as open and big enough for everyone to thrive, as long as you know what you want and you are doing it lawfully within the confines of the law.
I like the way you present the issues of fairness, equity, and justice, and how you itemize what options are available. But when we look at what is practical in Nigeria,
yes,
we know that coming in as an outlier is very difficult.
yes,
If you are not from the precincts of either the ruling party or the major opposition party,
yes,
because of the antecedents and
yes,
the huge resources that is available to this party and the goodwill perhaps that they have built over the years. Would it then be out of place that this group are asking that within these two places where there are chances that we could become something, that you make it your own mandate? So what exactly, my question is, what is wrong? Is it the recruitment, the leadership recruitment process, or the failure of a part of this country to fully participate in the political party process that leads to emerging as a candidate, especially for the office of the president?
Well, you see, when you don't fully participate in the political activities of a political party, starting from the grassroots level, that is the ward level, then of course the chances that you will actually emerge at the top will be very, very slim. Now, and of course, it's not a journey that can be completed within a day. It's something that has to be planned, it has to be calculated, and it's a very long journey that you have to take. And so when you have such an ambition, I believe that you should work on it, from the grassroots level, so that if you want to realize that ambition in a particular political party, then it should be seen that you are involved, you are participating at all levels, you know, because you have congresses at the ward level, you have congresses at the state, local government level, the state level, you know, and then the national level. And so building a structure, or, you know, penetrating through the structure that will enable you to realize your ambition, you know, will involve all of these processes. And I don't really see it as necessarily being a question of having so much money, in the sense that, of course, all of these political parties, you know, started sometime, you know, so someone actually began it, you know, and at the time they were starting, they didn't have all the resources they have at the moment, you know, so unless people just want to reap where they did not sow, it's important that, you know, you do the labor, you actually put in the work by, you know, involving right from the grassroots level, you know, and up to the national level, in such a way that you properly organize, you properly pass out the message out there, and you involve the people. And I always say that there are a lot of Nigerians that are not involved, you know, actively in the political activities of this country. If you target the people that are not involved alone and, you know, convince them to start getting concerned and start participating, it can make a whole lot of difference. Because if you look at the figures, the votes that are usually you know, released by INEC, despite all the allegations of overvoting, inflation of votes, and all of that, you know, the total vote cast is below 40 million, you know, and we are a nation of well over 200 million Nigerians.
True.
What it means is, if you can even, you know, get 50 million Nigerians that have not been active to participate, you have already altered the outcome of the election. So it is not just about, you know, the two major political parties that have resources, but that you have a message that you'll be able to convince Nigerians and give them reason to join or to participate in the political space.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the program, Mr. Pius Damba.
Yes,
I'm having difficulties pronouncing your name. We hope to have you next time on the program.
It's all right. Thank you so much.
This is where we will draw the curtain for today. We hope we have brought you very insightful, very educative, and very entertaining program on our segment for Thursday today. And we leave you with all other enlightening program that will be served to you on the channels of Trust Television. Thank you for staying with us and for enjoying this ride. Have a blissful day, and catch up with you tomorrow again on this show. I am Sunday Michael Ogo.
And I'm Zainab Bala. See you tomorrow.